The source took a rare trip over the border recently to visit with James Neiss. The longtime photojournalist for the Niagara Gazette stepped out from behind his lens to sit in front of ours. His work can be seen at a new gallery housed inside the Conference and Event Center. It includes images shot for the Gazette, as well as those that capture his passion for art photography.
Well, I have been a photojournalist for more than 25 years, but my background in photography, my education was heavily weighted towards art photography, and I consider myself artistic in my presentation in the newspaper, but there are rules to newspaper photography. You can't superimpose or clone or even some of the subject material in my art, they won't run. So I kind of started running with that, the art photography, and when Sue and I were talking, I'm like, hey, why don't you create a gallery space for my new art photography, and that's where it started.
Neiss says he has lived and breathed photography since taking a class as a senior in high school. Even back then, he was known for taking his camera wherever he went. Bringing it along to a concert helped land him one of his earliest jobs.
We won some tickets at a local radio station for Judas Priest, and I took my camera with me, and in comes Rob Halford, the lead singer of Judas Priest, and I asked the CBS record rep, can I take his picture? She says, you got black and white film in your camera? I said, yes, I do. She says, if you take pictures, I'll give you a backstage pass. That started a 3-year, let's call it internship, where I rode around in the limousines with rock stars like Blue Oyster Cult and Journey and Carlos Santana, while they went to radio stations to be interviewed by the disc jockeys. And for a 19-year-old kid, talk about a great start to a career. It blew up.
From there, it was on to the Gazette, where he has been capturing life in Western New York for over 25 years.
I consider myself a community journalist, where you cover the community, the good, the bad, and the ugly. The way newspapers are, I think the smaller newspapers need to focus not so much on the national news, but on the community. Bring back, focus on Little League, focus on local sports, focus on local business.
Despite the upheaval in the newspaper industry, Neiss says he sees a future for the daily paper and for pictures like his. In fact, earlier this winter, this shot taken at Prospect Point was picked up by the AP and seen all over the world.
Being in the right place at the right time is essential in your job. How did you develop that skill?
It's just luck. It's luck, literally. You have to have the skills to do the job, and when something happens, you need to just be able to react, okay? And that's, I think, what's happened over the years. I have experience. I'm experienced to the point where if something happens, I can react to it quickly.
You've been in this market a long time. What are the pros and cons of anchoring down and staying put in one market?
Pay scale. I think I could have made a lot more money if I'd moved on to a bigger market, but you know, like anything else, there's volatility. But honestly, I'm quite happy in Western New York. Obviously, I've made my decision to stay, and you know, there's soldiers and there's generals in any business, and I consider myself a soldier. I don't want to do anything more than be a good photographer.
Snapshots roaming the Niagara frontier can be viewed at the Niagara Falls Conference and Event Center, which is located just across the street from the Seneca Casino. In Niagara, you're watching The Source.